Have you ever wanted to play Doom inside of Destiny 2? Well, with some of the new seasonal mods in Beyond Light, you can. I've put timestamps down below in the description if you'd like to skip around and see how all the various components work. First off, for the weapons, I'm using the new Hailing Confusion Pulse Rifle that has the brand new perk Wellspring. Getting kills with this weapon generates ability energy divided amongst your abilities. It also has Pulse Monitor, which can be nice with this aggressive build, but more importantly it has armor piercing rounds. These give about a 5% extra damage bonus to shields and champion barriers, as well as the ability to over-penetrate and hit multiple targets. For Nightfalls with Overload champions, I like to switch to the Forward Path Auto Rifle from Iron Banner. The one that I have has Iron Grip and Dynamic Sway Reduction, which makes this baby super stable and able to hit targets reliably at longer distances. Next, we have the 4th Horseman Exotic Shotgun. It has the perk Broadside, where each consecutive shot deals more damage with more spread, along with the perk Thunderer that makes it fire faster and full auto. The catalyst for this weapon makes it even better by adding the 5th shot that it used to have back in Destiny 1 and doubles its reload speed. And finally, for the heavy slot, I've got the new Sub-Zero Salvo rocket launcher. It's a precision frame rocket launcher, so intrinsically it has tracking. It has cluster bombs, which allow it to do more damage in an area, and Ambitious Assassin, which will allow for 2 rockets in the tube upon getting a kill with it. For the helmet mods, we've got Reactive Pulse, where when you're charged with light and take damage while surrounded, it unleashes a damaging arc pulse around you. The secondary part of this perk is gaining a powerful overshield when you're performing a finisher, and it really is a powerful overshield. I pulled a finisher on a room of exploding shanks, and all they managed to do was just tickle it a little bit. And then there is Shotgun Ammo Finder, because the 4th Horseman shoots through special ammo like Pac-Man shoots through white dots. Also there is Hands On, which gives us bonus super energy from our melee kills. For the gauntlets, we have Anti-Barrier Pulse Rifle mod for the barrier champions. Now, something a lot of people don't know about this mod is that not only does it take down champion barriers, but also shoots through regular barriers. For example, it shoots through the rotating shields on Vex Hydras and the Hive Knight Panic shields. It also will allow you to kill the annoying Vex Hobgoblin snipers that when they get shot, they go into the immune state, crouch down, and gain their health back. This allows you to actually kill them while they're immune. And we've also got Unstoppable Shotgun mod, which allows us to use the 4th Horseman to stagger unstoppable champions. The chest armor is the Severance Enclosure Exotic. Now, the exotic perk for this is Spheromatic Trigger. Arc, Solar, and Void melee kills unleash an explosion. Finishers and melees create larger and more powerful explosions the more powerful the enemy is. For the perks, we've got Radiant Light that makes all your allies gain a charge of light every time you cast your super, and the second half of this perk is that it gives you an additional 20 strength. On the legs, there is the Taking Charge perk that allows us to become charged with light every time we pick up an orb of power. Then we've got Shotgun Scavenger that gives us more ammo for shotguns whenever we pick up a special brick of ammo, along with Traction that gives us a small boost to speed and turning radius. The Titan Mark has Shield Break, which allows us to become charged with power whenever we break the shield of a matching element. Then there is Momentum Siphon that gives us our melee every time someone staggers a champion. Finally, there's the new Spoils of War perk. This makes heavy ammo drop for us and our allies every time we perform a finisher on a champion, just like how performing a glory kill would give ammo in Doom 2016. For the subclass, we're running Code of the Juggernaut because of how much it rewards aggressive play. Charged melees reload our weapons and provide bonus damage, along with immediate health regeneration. Getting super kills extends the super duration, and critically wounding an enemy or breaking their shield increases melee damage and range. The combat style for this build is hyper-aggressive, just like the Doom games. I often found myself putting only a couple of rounds into smaller enemies just so that I could perform finishers on them. If they had larger friends nearby, the Severance Enclosure explosion would very often do enough damage to make them also finishable. This makes the gameplay loop almost identical to Doom 2016 and its glory kill system. One thing you don't have to worry about is performing finishers on exploding enemies such as Boomer Thralls and Exploding Shanks. When you perform finishers on them, it actually knocks their body away from you before the explosion goes off. The only thing you have to worry about is accidentally throwing them at your allies. Now if one of your allies is down and available to be revived next to an enemy that can be finished, go ahead and stand next to their ghost and then perform the finisher. Then while you are in the animation of performing a finisher, immediately hold the button to revive them. Being able to finish enemies at the same time as reviving allies is super handy in some tight spots because when you revive an ally, you receive a brief overshield, coupled with the fact that performing a finisher gives you an overshield and you have a couple precious seconds of being able to shrug off a lot of damage. Now it will take some practice to get the movements for this build down. If you just ape straight at your enemies with the fourth horseman, you are guaranteed to die. Knowing where enemies are located or where new enemies spawn is a big part of staying alive with this build. Don't be afraid to put up your barricade, reload, and wait for your shields to come back online before starting a new engagement. Cover and sliding are your friends, so be sure to get to know them well. There are a couple of issues I've found with this loadout. Whilst running this build can work in carrying randoms through nightfalls, it's probably best to use a fire team you can communicate with. One of the most common problems I ran into is that I would dump damage into a champion with the fourth horseman, go to perform the finisher, and one of the random guardians would kill it with a sniper round from afar. Or, when being rushed by a group of smaller enemies, I'd get one low enough to perform the finisher, and while running in to perform it and explode the group, another guardian would kill them all. Being able to communicate with the fire team would mitigate a lot of these issues. Another issue I've run into is that sometimes if an enemy is being damaged by one of your grenades at the same time you execute a finisher, you'll be stuck in the animation of finishing them, but they'll already be dead, so none of the associated perks will activate. But don't let these dissuade you from giving it a try. This is a very fun build to play with. Now obviously, the ability to perform finishers does not work in Crucible, but being charged with light does. So if you simply change out the champion mods for weapon dexterity and strength mods, you'll do just fine. With the craziness of the new stasis subclasses, it can get pretty funny to run around with the fourth horseman and bust right through their ice walls almost instantly. All of these things also apply to Gambit. Just trade out the champion mods and watch your kill counter reach triple digits. It's a pretty good setup for when your opponents send multiple blockers at once. And now for the fashion of looking like the Doom Marine. The helmet is the star-crossed helm ornament with the Iron Battalion shader. The gauntlets are the Iron Remembrance gauntlets with the Iron Fuchsite shader. The chest is the Severance enclosure with Iron Fuchsite. The boots, we've got the Braytex snow boots with Chalco's finery on them. And finally, the mark has the Intrepid Exploit ornament with the Iron Fuchsite shader. So, put on these mods and weapons, get some heavy metal pumping in the background, and rip and tear until there are no enemies left asunder. Thanks for watching and stay safe out there.